Yeah, he was.
He's a motor mouth.
Yeah, he never shuts up.
Comes out with about 2 good things a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll give you every now and then you'll hear him say something present about what's about to happen, and he's right. The rest of it, he's just repeating what someone's telling him. to hear.
You know,
Oh yeah, they're just being fed. They're being fed all kinds of.
every announcer should be forced to watch old-time Bruins tapes of Fred Cusick,
Oh yeah. Oh
the
God.
best announcer ever.
Yeah. And they had nothing. I mean, they did not have a producer in their ear telling
Nope.
them these statistics that they put tender off the top.
The
They
best
didn't have
announcer though
replays.
we've ever had. He was the funniest guy. You got to help me here because I'm having a senior moment. Bruins, former Bruins. He started announcing.
Derek Sanderson.
Derek Sanderson, and one night some nights he was nipping it,
Yeah.
and one of the other announcers says, "That's enough hot chocolate for you tonight, Derek," because he was going on. He said one night he said, "We would have had a goal, but he had to stick his goddamn hand out there."
He was beautiful.
Yeah.
And he was like that in person, too. Nothing changed when he got on camera.
He was an interesting guy to listen to.
He was fun. But after a while, you heard all the stories.
Oh yeah, that's it.
You guys all set?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to shut the door. I'll give you
All
a
right.
thumbs up, and we'll be on our way.
Before we get to, I was surprised that a couple days ago I went back and see how much do these high or college coaches make. Whoa! Coach of Alabama makes $11 million. He's going to probably make $18 million this year.
No kidding.
Oh.
Even the small schools are paying them
Yeah.
$1 million. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Ships
That-
at sea.
happy moment is here again. The Bill Crane Report is here and on the air. And here is my good friend Duane Weiss with me.
Hello, everybody.
And we've got another convoluted, crazy show for you.
Well, we wouldn't want to change it.
No, what the heck? This morning, I was watching Fox News.
Yep.
The latest ABC poll came out yesterday on inflation and the president's handling of it. 28% approve of Biden's handling of the economy, 69% disapprove.
That seems within what reasonable.
Yeah. So with that bit of information, there was a piece the New York Times generated that found its way into the Boston Globe. The Democrats realize Biden is a one-term president, and potential candidates are a sad lot.
Oh, yeah, there's just nobody waiting in the wings.
Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren,
God help us.
Amy Klobuchar,
Yeah, well, I know what you mean.
Klobuchar.
We don't.
Kamala Harris,
God help us.
and Hillary Clinton.
God really help us.
Over the weekend, Hillary Clinton, they ran the tape of her. Over the weekend, she said, if Trump runs in 2024, which I think is very likely,
It's possible.
it could be the end of our democracy.
From where you stand and where you look and what kind of lens you look through, she may be right. Not totally right, but there is a element to it that it would have, there is some strand of truth in it.
You can see where she's coming from, but if you were to look at what's coming out of Washington now,
Oh,
it's just as bad as Trump would be, if not worse.
it's like the Three Stooges are running it.
Yeah.
That's
They'd
the
do
problem.
better.
Hmm?
Their ratings were higher.
Oh yeah, I think their rating approval ratings was a hell of a lot higher, but there's just no rhyme or reason it's coming out today. I'm afraid, and I gotta hope I'm wrong, but I think he's being unduly influenced, Biden, by that certain crowd.
Oh, there's no
that
question.
AOC crowd that Ivana Presley,
Absolutely,
that whole group,
no
that squad,
question
and a few more.
that,
Elizabeth Warren,
and also
they got his ear.
All the people that were in the Obama administration
Yep.
that he interfaced with are pulling his strings.
Yep, manipulating in the background there.
It's
And
not.
I think he's fairly easily manipulated too.
Oh, well, listen, I think he's at the point where I don't think he has any strong convictions about much of anything.
No, no.
And I think that he's trying to pick out the right ones to listen to, and that's it. You know?
I don't even know if was it 24, the next election, he's going to be physically able to. You watch him just say a week to week or month to month, he's looking frailer and frailer.
Well, did you see
The tension and the stresses are getting to him.
Did you see the clip that Fox ran of him? Well, they said this our president really lost it yesterday. It showed him. It's just about like a 10-second clip. Yeah. What was I saying?
Yeah, well, that comes with the age, you know. You and I got the same thing.
Oh, I know.
We can identify with that.
Yeah.
And you just look at some of the past presidents, that 4 years or 8 years. Look at what they looked like and how
Jimmy
they were
Carter.
before they started and when they finished. That stress and the pressure really gets to people.
Jimmy Carter aged right before our eyes.
Oh, he sure did.
Boy.
Yeah. He's amazing though. He's still hanging on.
Yeah.
Oh, did you get a card from him?
No.
We
I'm
got-
not on his mailing
We
list.
got a Christmas card from Jimmy, and
Wow.
of course there's another little card in there. They want a $50 donation or some damn thing. But
I get it. I get enough of those.
I said we should take this as the senior center. Hey, look, we got a Christmas card from Jimmy Carter. She said, "You fool! Everybody did."
I got him from George H.W. and N.W.
Okay, good. They skipped me this year. I did.
Cards, and I also used to get 8 by 10 pictures.
I didn't get nothing from the Bushes this year, so I'm taking them off my list.
That'll fix them.
That'll fix them.
Boy. Time Magazine Man of the Year. Elon Musk.
All right, I can do.
Richest man in the world.
Yeah,
Doing all kinds of things.
yeah. Time Magazine's Man of the Year is not necessarily the best Man of the Year. The
No.
good guy, and he might be the bad guy because there's been Adolf Hitler a lot of times. There's been
has.
Stalin
It has.
on there. There's been a lot of characters
Oh,
on
absolutely, yeah. But anyway, I said to myself, not a bad choice. Certainly is a very influential person every day of the week.
that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Some of these-
Well, there was a NBC News anchor, a clip shown of him this morning, and I didn't catch his name. I don't. The NBC. I don't watch those national newscasts on those stations anyway. But anyway, he was saying it's not Biden's fault. They were talking about the numbers that I quoted
okay, yeah.
earlier. That's not his fault. He's failed on his two big promises: kill the pandemic and eliminate Trump. The pandemic is still with us, and so is Trump.
I don't think you can.
So it's not
Well-
his fault. How the hell does he back into that?
Well, I don't know if you could actually kill the pandemic on Biden's lap.
Biden said, quote, during the election,
Oh, I'm sure he said
yeah,
it. But,
I will squish the pandemic.
Oh yeah. But if you
Yeah.
looked at all the monkeys up there at that group of candidates and what they said and what they would do or could do, it's all malarkey. It's all BS up there. So to hold a candidate to his
Would never do
election
that.
promises, that's crazy because they tell you whatever they think you want to hear.
And especially when you say, well, look, here's the plank that was in your platform. Huh? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't. I never have ever thought you could hold I always thought you should, But you can't because they're just
Local
talking off the
elections
top
you
of their
can.
head. Yeah, oh yeah.
But-
Hillary had so many promises. Trump had so many promises. Trump was going to have a new health care in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. People are going to be they're going to be trampling us to get to this health care thing. He never did anything.
Do you know something? If the Republican Party, well, I don't know how do I want to say this. One of their biggest failings, or something they should do, is develop a health plan
Absolutely.
and lay it out.
Lay it out.
And say, there, all right. You want some bipartisan action? You want to cross
We
the
waited
aisles?
4 years for that for 6
Yeah.
weeks. Every time I said, well, it's going to be 6 weeks, folks. It's coming in 6 weeks. And that 6 weeks never
And the
got here.
health plan has come for 40 years from
Yeah.
the Republican Party.
That's right. But they
I
never.
We've got underclasses. We got people, for heaven's sakes, that go to these beautiful hospitals and think nothing of it to have their toenails trimmed.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you got other people with babies and they can't see a doctor.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It just doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't.
It-
I've always been a proponent of some form of national health care.
Oh, I am too. I
Yeah.
think everybody except a diehard conservative, fiscal conservative, would accept that.
Yeah.
Nobody would not, with common sense, would not.
I'll tell you what, if Biden were smart, and he's not, by the way, maybe crafty, maybe wily, maybe experienced, I'm not convinced he's any great thinker. Rather than this BBB,
Yeah, Build Back
if
Better.
he said, we are going to craft a plan whereby we're going to spend $5 trillion to set up a national health care program. And we asked the Republicans, come across the aisle and work with us on it. We need your help.
Unfortunately, Bob Doyle is dead.
Yeah.
He was the one that would have come across.
Ronald Reagan would have too.
Reagan would have also.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
If Reagan and Tip O'Neill could have sat down, they could have hammered out something in about 3
Yeah.
shots of whiskey.
Right now, you take the leaders on both sides, not just the top person, but go down into the ranks, but from the top on down. These people would rather shoot their grandmother than cooperate with the other side of the room, regardless what it is. If they got to cut their foot off not to cooperate, they're just not going to cooperate.
The hatred
Yeah.
in this country between the parties.
And you know who's suffering?
We are.
We are.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
you don't see the hue and cry on both sides of both parties saying, stop it, you idiots. Let's get this stuff done.
The CBO, Congressional Budget Office,
Yeah.
was asked to study the BBB plan, Build Back
Better?
Better, and the claim that it's not going to cost 1 cent to the taxpayer. And
Of
they
course
came
it
back
costs.
and said, as is constituted right now, the 1.7 trillion they want is going to cost 4.9 trillion.
Well, I'm not
in
surprised.
In the deficit.
You got a four-time ratio is always in government. If it's $1 billion, it's going to be $4 billion. If it's $1 million, it's $4 million. If it's 1,000, it's going to be 4,000.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 3 times the time.
And you know what? And you can hear the Democrats. Oh, so what? Those are just numbers. It's a bunch of crap. We've got to spend this money. Blah 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 blah. And by the way,
But those with the big mouth got to stand up. You've got to take Governor Abbott
Yeah,
in his mouth,
yeah.
Governor DeSantis. Well, now I don't know how many billion they got off of this thing so far,
Yeah,
saying, oh no, we don't want it. It contributes to inflation.
yeah.
You take it back and put it in the Treasury.
Yep.
What did they do and all the rest of them? Thank you very much. Put it in their pocket. It was no different when our legislature voted in a pay raise. Mm-hmm. Now, I've been a Republican. I'm listed as unenrolled, but I've been voting Republican for God knows since I was young. But when they passed in the pay raise, the few Republicans we got right away says, no, we don't want to pay. That's not fair to the people. That's not fair. Which one of them refused? And they didn't have to take it. How many took it? Every one of them took it, but
You
complained
better
that
believe
they shouldn't have passed it. But I'll take it anyway.
Well,
They're
you
in a
know,
perfect position because they can get it and not get blamed for it.
Yep. It's incredible. They're horrible people. I found a quote from Maura Healey I had completely forgotten about. But I'll tell you what, if she runs for governor,
If
yeah.
If-
Well, you know what though? She's not popular.
Well, no.
And her numbers, I bet you her polling numbers are not good.
no, but she's got the machine behind her.
If she gets a machine behind her,
Yeah.
yeah. But she said this while we were having the fires in the cities. America is burning, but that's how forests grow.
She lacks rhyme or reason from day one. A lot of people think that she was in that job as DA or as Attorney General as a stepping stone to the governor's office. And look how ineffective she was as an Attorney General.
She's been a disgrace.
Yeah, that's where cases go to die.
Yeah. I mean, she took the year 2016 off
Yeah.
and campaiged
Campaigned, yeah,
nonstop
around
across
the
the country
That's
for
right.
Hillary Clinton.
You said, what in the hell is she doing there?
Yeah.
Spending our money to go out and campaigning in California someplace.
Yeah. But, I mean, to insinuate that by burning down the cities,
Yeah,
new cities will grow up
that's
is
asinine.
asinine.
Absolutely.
But we got to remember that in case she ever does decide to run.
Well, you wouldn't vote for her, would you?
No.
Well, I wouldn't vote for her. And I
No.
don't think anybody out there in TV land is
But you
going to
know
vote
what?
for her.
We may be overrating her plans to climb the political ladder. It could well be, Duane, she's happy being Attorney General and doing it for 18 to 20 years and retiring with a huge pension.
I'd probably be happy with that too.
Yeah. She may have no ambitions to go any higher.
Maybe.
Because I'll tell you what, she runs for governor, I think it would be a bloodbath.
I don't think. Well, it depends on who runs against her.
Yeah, that's right.
It's,
The Republicans have no one. So I looked at this quote from Maura Healey, and I said to myself, that's the biggest lie, I think. But then I remembered another one. Hillary Clinton and the vast right-wing conspiracy. Remember when she used to say
Oh,
that
God, yes.
over and over? She finally admitted, by the way, when it was all said and done, well, there wasn't any, but we had to have something to say.
oh, you got to. They all got
So
these.
Carville came up with that.
These are like baskets where they just put something in it, so they always got a receptacle for whatever their method is.
So we're hearing a lot from President Biden. He's like a broken record. We want the rich to pay their fair share. Duane, has he ever said what their fair share is?
Nope.
No. What is their fair share?
No one knows.
I mean, why isn't the press all over him saying, look, Mr. President, you keep saying that over and over and over. What is the fair share? And I'm sure he'll say something like, well, I'll know it when I see it. Yeah. Or something.
Well, he's got a base point there, is that the very rich pay very little.
Yeah.
And if you look at dollar amount, it looks different. If you look at percentage, it's another story itself. If now Mr. Crane here, he makes about $100 million a year. He gives away 1%.
Yeah,
That's $1 million.
that's right.
He gave $1 million.
Yeah.
I make my income's probably 10,000 a year. If I give 1,000, that's 10%.
That's right.
But
That's
he gave $1 million. I gave 1,000.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's not doing his fair share.
Yeah.
No. Ay, ay, ay. Bits and pieces of information here. Steve Jobs went 2 years without taking a shower. And in 1 year, he ate nothing but apples.
Where did you get that?
Out of a book he wrote.
Oh, okay.
Do you
Did you
notice?
take a bath?
I don't know. That might have been the out. Oh, when swimming in the pool
That's
every
right.
day with his
In a hot tub
with
and
his
yeah.
life buoy that floats.
Yep.
Have you noticed no one seems to chew gum anymore?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I
I
wonder
thi-
what that's all about.
I don't know. But you're
Everybody
right. People
used
used to be. Oh, everybody's
Everybody
chewing gum.
chewed gum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's some numbers from the American Legion magazine. By the way, folks, this show, there's absolutely no rhyme nor reason to the stuff that's in this pile. Don't look for a common thread here, because it doesn't exist.
That's the beauty of it. It's not that's not a negative. That's a beauty because you don't know what's coming up next.
That's it. So the headline is Cratering Trust in Key Institutions. 56% Americans in 2021 who have a great deal of trust and confidence in the military is down from 70% 2 years before.
Yeah.
33% of Americans who have a great deal of trust and confidence in public health officials. 1 out of every 3 trust them. 21% of Americans have a great deal of trust in public education.
Yeah, I don't think that's rising either.
No, it's not. It's not.
That's
And
not
there's a ton of reasons for it. But I don't think that teachers are exactly the cream of the crop any longer.
Well, and I shouldn't comment, but I agree with you.
Yeah. And 10% of Americans have a great deal of trust and confidence in Congress. 10%.
Yeah, that's too bad. That goes back to what we just said before about his side of the aisle and my side of the aisle not trusting and in fact hating each other and making sure that we don't cooperate. That's exactly where that came from.
Do you know of all the things that happened so far in this latest schism, the thing that I think peed me off the worst was when Nancy Pelosi tore up the State of the Union.
Oh,
address.
that was rude. That was just plain
ignorant.
Yeah, and rude and crude, and there was no class whatsoever to that.
Yep, none.
That was just,
Unbelievable.
you couldn't even say, well, that's just some uneducated boob.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. She's an educated person. She's
Speaker
well to
of the
do.
House.
And remember, she's high in society. She knows etiquette. She knows manners. What she did was just plain rude. I was shocked when she did that.
By the way, do you have trouble sleeping nights?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is going to add to
I
your,
don't sleep much.
add to your problems, I'll tell you. Nancy Pelosi is third in line to be president.
Oh, I know. I
Yeah.
know.
Think about that.
Oh, I have.
If Biden, you know what? If Biden's wife will probably be the one that breaks the news and says, you know, Joe and I talked about it. And he's not up to the job. And he's not feeling well, nervous, jitters. And we think the best thing for the country is for him to resign. And then Kamala Harris, with her, I think it's 12% approval rating.
Yeah, she was.
The Democrats are going to say to her, don't you dare take the job. Just say, I'm not up to the job. I can't handle the job. And then it'll slide to Pelosi. Isn't that a lovely thought?
No, but it's always possible. That's why there's a line of succession in the Constitution.
Yeah. The Secretary of State used to be number 3,
That's right.
and she maneuvered it and changed it.
I still think it should be Secretary of State because.
Yeah. But imagine if John Kerry.
No,
No, that wouldn't have been good.
no, I don't. But I think I'd have took Kerry over Pelosi. Just for logic, decision making, and probably aware of what's going on in the world. But I'm not saying either one of them ain't good, but I said that I would take Kerry first.
She is a street fighter.
She is a total politician.
Absolutely.
That's all that. There's no substance other than political substance there.
Partisan politician.
Absolutely. Well, of course.
Yeah. And you're right. That's where she's been all her life.
All her life. That's
she's
all
been
she's
a fighter.
ever done. Yep.
Yeah. I'm sure that makes a good president.
No, of course not.
Reaching across the aisle, as President Biden is often states. I haven't seen him reaching across the aisle, though. But I guess it's probably coming, huh?
He has asked a couple times for some cooperation. They didn't give it to him.
Yeah.
Nothing. They just ignored him. And it was some stuff that really should have been done. And it really hurt us. I disappointed in the Republican side a lot of times in the last few years.
Yeah. Well, this deficit, raising the deficit. Look, they're both at fault for the deficit going up. But for the Republicans to grandstand and put us through the agony of a countdown to a default is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
And then pull the iron out of the fire at the last minute is just stupid.
But on the other hand, the other party holding the country hostage.
Yes.
If they didn't get what they wanted.
Yep.
It's Bill. It doesn't matter because there are 6 idiots on one side and a half a dozen idiots on the other side. So it's hard to. You can easily take blame over here, but you got to equal blame sitting over here. The bottom line is we got a bunch of nincompoops sitting in Washington and in Beacon Hill. Period. That's all it is.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I couldn't agree with you more. I've been in the State House lobbying for causes that were near and dear to my heart, and the average intelligence that I garnered from my interface with the reps and senators scared me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're just,
But so many people don't react to it because it does not affect them directly on a day-to-day basis. They don't say, well, this is not going to take anything to me because that doesn't affect me.
yeah.
But it does.
It does.
In different ways.
Yeah.
But they don't see it that way.
That's exactly
They don't
right.
see the direct effect. Now,
Till it hits them in the pocketbook.
if the State House comes up and says we're raising the personal income tax to 15%, then all of a sudden, bang, it's them. Or the sales tax something's going to change.
Bingo.
Then it affects them.
And
until
then
that
they
time-
get all stirred
Then
up.
they get all stirred up. That's right. Now, speaking of get stirred up, did you see today's Globe editorial? It says legislators must get cracking on egg reform. This is something that's going to affect you. We warned you about a year ago already. In 2019, we passed a piece of legislation that legislated how chickens, the egg industry, can operate. Well, being Massachusetts, we put the parameters different than the other 49 states. Of course we'd have to be different. And the idea is that if you don't comply to this as an egg producer, you can't sell your eggs in the state of Massachusetts. And everybody thought, even according to this article, don't worry because we're so superior in our legislation, other states are just going to follow us and change their parameters to meet ours, because of course ours is correct. Well, guess what? Nobody has changed. Come the first of the year, or January 5th, or right after the first of the year, all the egg producers that we buy our eggs from, with the exception of a few farmy type things, aren't going to be legal here. Do you have any idea what that's going to do to the supply of eggs and the price?
Egg salad sandwiches and scrambled eggs are two of my favorite things.
You remember the toilet paper?
Yep.
Empty shelves. That's what you're going to see with the eggs, because nobody changed. Like DeCosta's a big egg producer in Maine. With them,
That's right.
among others, says, we're not changing our whole operation for Massachusetts. It's not financially feasible for us to do that. The egg producers that we get from New York, we even get eggs from California, but eggs come from all over now. But they're not changing. And the thing is, their norms or parameters are not out of line. The Americans, or the ASPCA, approves of these other states' reformations that they made. There's only one group that's fighting us right now, and then, there's one that it's California-based Humane Farming Association. They say that if we even try to change our amendment, they will bring a lawsuit to stop us. This is an out-of-state group, and they're all home by peace and love, and
All that stuff.
animals are, you shouldn't touch an animal. You know,
they're akin to
if
humans.
we don't have a legislature right now, it's got some cajones to do something. You're going to feel this. You'll still see eggs. You'll still see Nellie's farm eggs. You see her. She's got a picture of her, and she's holding the petting a chicken. And you got a couple other people that are sell 40. Even the BJ's are like $5 and something a dozen. Hell, they're going to be $8 a dozen.
Well, you got to go out and search for the damn things.
Oh yeah, they got to be free range and vegetarian, have dates to the prom and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But they're just going to let it die. They're just going to sit there, and then they're going to say, "How come we haven't got any eggs? What's going on?"
Yeah, and then somebody in the legislature is going to say, "Well, we've got to do something. Well, let's make ourselves look like heroes here now and pull the fat out of the fire."
You had 2 years to do something.
Listen, it's been how many years since the Simpson-Bowles report
Oh, my God.
on saving Social Security and Medicare, and those damn fools in Washington
Still haven't done a thing.
bloody thing.
Except make it worse.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just let it fester.
Let everybody else, even more people, dip into the fun.
Gutless worms. That's what they are.
So if you know your legislator, you better tell them that you mess with my eggs, I'm going to mess with my vote.
Yeah. Now, folks, I know that many of you enjoy our show, and you derive a certain value from it. I'm going to describe something new, though, that you can really benefit from. As you look at our lead-in to our show, the Bill Crane report, and underneath, the smell of intelligence. Well, here's the deal. Get yourself a big plastic bag. Kind of hold it up in front of the TV, wide open. Intelligence is going to come wafting right into the bag. Okay? Then, whammo, seal it. Put a twist tie on it, bring it, put it in your closet, and then on days when you feel stupid, go get it, open it up, and stick your head in the bag and breathe deeply. And the wisdom will come pouring out at you. Think about that. There's no other TV programs on that offer you benefits like that.
That's right.
That's right. 7 or 8 deep breaths and you're going to be as smart as a whip.
We are advocates of truth in advertising.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not going to say a word about this. Duane,
What?
you and I have not talked about this, but I'm going to be very interested in your comment on 70% of Bay Staters, Massachusetts residents for you folks, support happy hour return.
Okay.
How do you feel about
Well, my pick on it, make it 71%. I support it also.
Really?
Absolutely. I think that we are not a baby state. We're not a nanny state. We don't need the state government telling us you can't do this, you can't have a fireworks, you can't have this. Come on, we're adults. Other states treat their people as adult. There's nothing wrong with happy hour. The parameters of the responsibility of the bar club owner does not change with happy hour. If you overserve somebody because of happy hour, overserve them of 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, it's the same thing. Because it's happy hour, these people are not going. These people that don't want happy hour, they immediately say, "Well, they're going to be drunk in the streets, and they're going to be driving, and they're going to be running into posts and running over kids and everything." That doesn't happen. That's just like the fireworks people. Oh my God, people are going to walk around all day. You'll see people with arms missing and the legs missing. Yeah, that's ridiculous. And a bar owner is not going to risk his license and the liability simply because he's got a 50% off or 25% off for that hour or two. It's absurd. It's Massachusetts. Bill and I probably don't agree on that, but I don't like nanny states.
Well, I used to really like to go out and kick it around as a young man.
I think I did
And I
too.
can honestly tell you, when the bars closed at 1 o'clock, I never really felt the need to say, "Gee, I wish they'd stay open longer." I had enough by then. It's the same thing with happy hour. Go out, have a few beers and socialize and all that. But when it's buy one, get one free, guess what you're going to do?
Yeah,
You're going to really start slugging them down.
very few people that there used to be. I'll tell you
If
that.
everybody would be calm and reasonable and exercise self-control, but that's not the
That's
case.
not to happen.
90% of the people in the bars are lunatics.
Well, that's true, but
I don't. By the way, only 31% broken down. 38% are strongly in favor of happy hour. 32% are somewhat in favor of it, and 20% are totally opposed.
well, you got a 60-40 then, or 60, 60-40.
Yeah. Now, what happened here in Massachusetts, by the way, when we lowered the drinking age?
Oh, geez, that happened nationwide. That wasn't just Massachusetts.
Yeah.
That was absolute craziness.
Absolute disaster.
Yeah,
But you know what?
but we had a state that was lowered already, and that was New York. for
Right.
years was 18.
That's correct.
I came from the Midwest where several of the states were 18 for wine and beer. And we didn't see the craziness when that 18 year went, because these people in that state already could go to their, well, we had 18, we call them 18-year-old bars. They didn't sell alcohol or hard liquor. And when you were 18, you'd go in, and they, they always had a pool tables and they had pinball machines and stuff. That's where the kids went.
Yeah.
And you had a couple of beers and then maybe ordered a hamburger.
3.2.
No, it was
No?
regular beer.
Full
No.
beer?
Yeah, it's regular beer. Or you could go that's wine. But so when this 18 came across, there was a few idiots that went kind of wacko.
Off the rails.
Yeah, but not like you saw these states that they went just nuts, some
Yeah.
of these kids. Because all of a sudden they were 19 and 20, and now they could go to a bar. Some of these states where they always could go to the bar already at 18, it was no big deal. So I don't think that 18, that was just a total disaster across the country.
Well, you know what? And you relate it also to voting.
Yeah.
Look, if you don't allow them to drink, what makes you think they're mature enough to make up their minds on voting? They're not.
They're not, that's
They're
right.
still kids.
They're still kids. That's the good answer to that, is they're not.
That's right.
But then they'll say, well, if they're old enough to go in the military and get shot or killed, why can't they drink or vote?
And you know what? When you're on an army base,
That's right.
That's right.
exactly what I was going to say. It's a closed society. You do what you want. You control it.
that's right.
Yep.
When I was down at Fort Dix taking basic training, we were grounded, for the whole damn basic training.
okay.
But then I got the second aid, and we got a little bit of liberty, and we could go to, well, I'm not exactly sure what they called it. Not a bar, but it was a shed. A glorified
okay.
shed with picnic tables around it. You could buy a 6-pack and sit at the picnic table and drink it. It's 3.2.
Yeah.
And it was warm. That was quite a whoop, I'll tell you. But
3.2 would go over great today. With the advent of the light, some of those light beers.
well, you know what, Duane? I have never trusted anybody that drinks light beer.
I used to say, well, why don't you order a Miller and put a couple of ice cubes in it?
Now wait a minute, Miller was my drink.
Yeah, but you didn't put ice cubes in it
No,
instead of the Miller Lite.
that's right. Yeah. But, it's just an awkward compromise.
I
It's-
like Miller too. I
Yeah.
knew you were like.
High Life, yeah.
I still like Miller. It's a good
By
beer.
the way, Miller was just a tad stronger than the others.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I went on the internet and looked at it one time.
Do you know at one time you could not post your
Alcohol content.
alcohol content
Yeah.
by volume? The philosophy was that breweries would get in competition with each other to who could make a stronger beer and a stronger
right.
beer. Well, if he made it 5%, I'll make it 6, I'll make it 7. It didn't really happen that way because after 6 or 7, it gets bitter. And American taste is not skewed that way on
Yeah.
beer. So all of a sudden you taste it and God, it's bitter, really
Yeah.
bitter. It puckers your mouth up because but now it's gone the other way.
Yeah.
Now they can because now they're proud of how little the alcohol. Now you got Budweiser Zero, like no, you got Heineken with no alcohol whatsoever. You got stuff out there with 1%, 0.5%, 1.5%.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Now, in Germany, Lent was the period going towards Lent, leading up to Lent is what I was trying to say.
Okay.
Was called Fasching. And they made Fasching beer.
All right.
And it was at least double the strength.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, that was powerful stuff. Boy, 3 of those, it would knock your socks off.
There's a couple you can buy here that are like 12, 14%. And you don't drink them, you sip them like a drink, just a little sip like a wine. And it's an acquired taste because they're strong.
You know, back when I was a kid, we started drinking beer out of the cans in the woods. You'd buy it from the local package store and take it into the woods
I think that's a right.
and drink it fast before it got warm.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I started drinking, was
We kept ours. Kept ours in
pounding it down.
a cold crick.
Yeah.
It was always in the water. So.
If there was a cold crick handy, but so as a result,
Where I lived, there was no people. You had a lot of people to watch out for.
yeah. As a result, when I tried hard stuff, guess what I did? Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't work out well.
See, I'm sure you and I know you don't drink at all anything.
No.
I don't drink much after I started dieting. But to this day, I don't care for very cold beer.
Oh, really?
I prefer a beer that's room temperature to a little bit cooler. Not in summer room temperature.
Yeah.
But it's like if you took your case of beer and put it in the basement. You know, the cool, whatever the basement is, that to me is perfect. When you get it so cold, I think it ruins the taste. Like some of the Europeans don't want it that cold either.
No. The Germans, of course, drink theirs warm,
Yep.
and the Brits, the Swedes, they don't drink much beer.
My relatives in the Midwest, it comes out ice cold, and then they got them cozies or whatever they
Yeah.
call it to keep them cold.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to set my can over here and let it warm up a little bit for.
Well, I used to. My best friend, when I began going to bars, well, a couple of my best friends, but one of them in particular, Kenny Cahill, what a beauty. And he'd would get a couple of beers, and Kenny would go, that's it. And look at me like, well, what the hell are you doing? Drink your beer, you big
Yeah,
pansy.
Some of the college parties do that. They just drink the drink.
Kenny, so what it boils down to is he didn't care for the taste of beer.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So he had drank it as cold as he could and
as fast as
pounded
he
it
could.
down.
Yeah, to me,
Ay, ay, ay. Hey, here's an interesting story. An Alaska, sorry about that, an Alabama sheriff is trying to figure out how hundreds of FedEx packages ended up dumped in the woods.
oh, I saw that.
An estimated 300 to 400 packages of various sizes were found in a ravine near the small town of Hayden. The Blount County Sheriff's Office said in a statement. Well, to make a long story short, FedEx picked them up. I mean, it doesn't take a super brain to realize what happened. A guy fell behind on his deliveries and said, how the hell, what this? And pitched the packages out.
Dump 'em.
Brought the truck back empty and said, there.
I'm done.
Yeah, obviously not the brightest guy in the
No.
world, because they're going to look at the computer and say, well, we don't show these things
These people are
being
calling, hey,
delivered.
where's
Yeah.
that package? Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay. By the way, that little town was about 30 miles north of Birmingham. Well, Ecuador must be an interesting place to be in prison.
Oh, no, thanks.
You're going to pass on
No,
that?
thanks. Any place like that. The
68 inmates died in a prison gun battle.
yeah.
Rival gangs had guns inside a prison.
Oh, yeah.
68 of them killed.
Yep. That's literally where the inmates run the institution.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mexico's like that.
Yeah.
People have to bring in their food. Their relatives bring in their food, and they have little fires and pots, and they cook amongst themselves and stuff. And they got these gangs that prey on each other. And
Oh, yeah.
Peru, I guess, is one of the worst in the world, too.
Well, here's a story that I will need your opinion on, sir.
I never have an opinion.
A Pennsylvania woman is suing the manufacturer of a popular online slots game, claiming it wrongly refused to pay her a $100,000 jackpot because of a bug in the product.
Yeah, I'm not. That's been an ongoing problem in a casino. I don't know about the online because I'm not a online.
Yep.
Would never gamble online. I don't trust online.
Lisa Peluso is suing because she said it came up, I'm a winner.
Yep. But I don't know about online, so just take this with a grain of salt. There may be something, maybe not, but I really doubt there is. Every casino and every manufacturer has on their machines malfunction voids payout or result, void result, meaning that if you sit down, that machine just says, "Broop," you just won $100,000 or $5,000. That's got to be verified that there wasn't a malfunction in the machine, and they've got the legal right to say, no, it was a malfunction.
Well,
Now, there was one, I forgot the casino, what it was, and there was a 4-digit machine. It was back when they still had reels. They don't have reels anymore.
Right.
They have TV screens that look like the reels. But the reel came up with a 9999, a dollar machine, and this woman insisted she won $9,999. They said, no, that 9999 is an error code. And she took them, she tried to sue them because they said, no. And it says, besides, it says right here, any malfunction. If you hit a big jackpot, say you go down to Plain Ridge tomorrow, or to Foxwoods, or any of them, and you hit something big, they don't immediately pay you. Now, a friend of ours' daughter won a $50,000 hit on a Wheel of Fortune dollar machine at Foxwoods. She thought she hit 5,000, and she called her dad. I just hit $5,000. Should I? They want to know if should I take taxes, whole taxes, or should I just take it? And she said she had to call back. She said, "Oh my God, Dad, it wasn't 5, it was 50,000." And well, anyway, so he said, "Well, just stay there. I'm coming down. He'll be there in about an hour." They had to stay there from that afternoon until that evening, while a representative from the Gaming Commission and the manufacturer came to verify through whatever the electronics in the machine that yes, it actually did pay out that $50,000 hit. They weren't going to pay it out until they made damn sure it was a. Now I've had it where I play video poker, and one time it was also at Foxwoods. I play a triple play, which your hand is dealt on the first line, and you don't see the other 2 lines. But whatever you save, say you've got 2 aces on there, you save your 2 aces. Now 2 aces pop up in the same spot on the next 2 lines. So what you're doing is playing 3 hands now. You got 2 aces ready, and I got dealt on the bottom line an ace, 4 aces with a kicker. The 5th card was a 2, 3, or 4. So that's $1,000 there. And now it's automatically $1,000 on each line. So that's a $3,000 hand. They came, and of course, it says call attendant. They know because as soon as it comes up, they carry in little, with the cell phones and stuff, they're carrying alerts. They came over, and the guy said, okay. And another guy came and looked at it. It took forever. I mean, seemed like an hour. And usually it takes 15, 20 minutes to come and pay you. And okay, and the bartender, she said, "Oh, this is playing at the bar. The games are built into the bar." She says, "They're checking the machine." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, they're verifying the electronics to make sure that was a legitimate hit." She said, "It takes about an hour and a half," but she said, "They'll be there." They did. Finally, they showed up. Way way over, 3 times, 4 times what it usually takes to have a hand payoff. Like if you got a $1,500 payoff, they come and they want an ID, and because at $1,200 on, it's taxable or reportable, and then they ask you, do you want taxes taken out or not? If you don't, that's all right, but you're getting a 1099, 1090 G, or there's another one, a 1040 gambling thing too. you sign it, and they give you a copy for your 2 copies for your tax records. That's it. You leave. They verify before they pay on those bigger hits. And so she's not going to have a stand there.
Well, so it was a $100,000 jackpot. The American Gaming Systems offered her $280.
Just to get out of here. Yeah.
Then they upped it to $1,000, but she's going to sue them.
She's not going to win.
No. But
And it's going to cost her a shitload of money in legal fees.
now, Duane, if I want to buy ammunition
Yep.
in a gun shop, I have to produce my Massachusetts right to carry.
Yeah. Yeah. ID card.
Yep. And you know what? They put it in the computer to the FBI, and 30 seconds later, comes back approved.
Yep.
What in the name of heavens do they make somebody, in this age of computers and speed, what in the devil did they make you wait 2 hours for?
You mean
What are they doing?
I mean, with the payout?
Yeah.
What were we talking? Because they got to go into that machine. Each machine's got its own computer system in it.
Yes.
They're not
Yeah.
linear lined up. They
Right.
don't allow that because otherwise a casino could. Thank you. A casino could manipulate the whole outfit.
Yeah, but still, now down it all, we get things that can make instant decisions.
Yep.
You mean to say on that machine that's in that
Yeah.
casino, they couldn't walk up to it, open the back, hit the verify button, and have it go boop, or have it go no.
Oh, they probably could today.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I don't understand what takes so long.
but the way it was is that each machine is a computer,
Yeah.
but they're not hooked together as such.
Right.
Because that would allow somebody to manipulate the whole
Yeah,
place.
that's right.
This way, you literally have to take that machine apart to get to that core, the brain of it. Then that has to be analyzed.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of safeguards for
this-
cheating around this.
This drives me crazy because the folks that want to mess with gun owners and put new hurdles in front of gun owners want a 3-day wait for ammo buy or buying a pistol or something when you can get an answer from the FBI
Yeah.
in 30 seconds.
Yeah, see that's it's just that
It's
somebody
just-
they got to get together and make this central information area.
Yep.
But Bill, good Lord, if you do that, what are you going to do to the 30,000 people that you got working and to make that one decision?
Yeah. Although, back in the old days, it was better. I used to visit a bar in Mansfield, the old Mansfield house, and a guy was that I knew was in there, and well, one thing led to another, and he says, "I'm just sitting here waiting for a guy from Providence to come. He's got something for me." I said, "Really?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "I hit a 3-horse parlay. He's bringing me up $680, and this guy comes in, and it was like a caricature almost.
Oh.
He was as broad as he was tall. He comes in and goes, "Who's Ed?"
Yeah.
Ed goes, "That's me.
Me.
Come over here." And they sat at a table over there, pulls out a bag, gives him the money, says, "Count it." And Ed counts it and says, "Yep, all here." No, that was it. That was the whole conversation. The guy got up and left. Didn't say, "I know, yes, or maybe, have a good day, enjoy yourself, thanks for the business." Nothing.
Yeah.
Just give him the money, count it, then walked out the door.
Yeah, they're out of central casting on a movie someplace. They really do look like that.
Well, friends, we have to take a break. And count on money here or something. And we'll be back with the second half of our show.
Yep.
So behave yourself.
Pop the popcorn, do something.
Go to the powder room,
Powder, that's right.
and we'll be back.
Bye-bye.